Yeah. That's it.
Wow, such a maze. I love when my lookalike dances with me in the car, especially when they're a stranger.
Hey guys, what's going on? So Andrew here from the Boston Bond. We are in the north end of Boston right now, about to pick up our next customer, and I real quick just wanted to point out to you guys how busy North End really is during a Saturday night. I mean, you guys, you cannot get a spot in a restaurant around here for 2 hours. It is wild. So hopefully this person doesn't cancel on me. They're only about 0 0.2 miles away. They should be about 2 minutes away. However, with the lag in traffic, it gets a little hard. Oh gosh. All right, 11:32 on. Is it November 4th already? Is it November 4th?
Yeah, it is.
This is awesome. I found another YouTuber, so I decided, you know what? Let's get it going. Let's get the podcast going here. So we're here. It's getting there. Not super late, so... But I will respond to one of your questions you asked me, which will help other people as well kind of understand. So you said, do you get a lot of drunk people? And, it's funny enough is that I get a lot of workers like you that are getting out of work, that are just trying to get home, you know what I mean? Which is, awesome for me because, I don't want to just drive around drunk people all night.
That's true.
They're not, terrible, but, I just would rather have a normal conversation that's,
Relax instead of just worrying about what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your name?
Alexa.
Alexa. Very nice to meet you.
You too.
As you know, I'm Andrew. And yeah, so no, I think that's awesome. It's okay, so let's get right into it. So you have a YouTube channel.
I do.
And go ahead and describe your YouTube channel.
So my YouTube channel started off as a hair and makeup channel, and then it kind of evolved into a DIY and just home decor and kind of just a lifestyle video YouTube channel.
Okay. Which is great because then you have more appeal to different people, not just which is great.
Which is a blessing and a curse in the same way, because you want to kind of find your niche.
Yeah.
But I have a problem finding my niche because I just love so many things.
100%. I agree.
I feel like everyone has that problem though.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to kind of you don't want to pigeonhole yourself, but at the same time you have to be able to just hit one specific crowd.
Yeah. So I had a very strong following probably 2 years ago. It's starting to get a little bit better, but then I kind of just fell off and just wasn't as consistent as I should be.
Yeah, right. That's another problem that we face, right?
It's such a bad problem.
Right.
And I didn't know what I was doing, and then I was going to school and I had 2 jobs, and then I just kind of fell on the back burner. And now I'm trying to get it back up and back to my views where it was actually at a stable level. But I'm just trying to figure it out.
The hell yeah. And so you are bartending?
I'm bartending, yes.
I was bartending as well.
Yeah.
On Hampton Beach.
It's the only... Oh, on Hampton Beach?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Hampton Beach.
At Bernie's Beach Bar.
I don't know where that is.
Really?
No. Is it on Ocean?
Yeah, yep,
Boulevard?
right on the main strip there. Yeah, they just put millions of dollars into it actually. It's they call it the biggest beach bar on the East Coast down to Miami actually.
Where's the casino in?
The casino is down a block or two.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to tell people sometimes that I like it so much because I don't want them to look at me what the hell is wrong with you?
I know,
you know what I mean?
But it gives you the freedom.
No, you get so much freedom, and that's awesome.
I mean, truthfully, your quality of life. I think about it all the time because I think about bartending, and everyone's oh, you're just bartending, whatever. Do you have anything else that you're doing? And I'm just well, I'm just trying to kind of figure it out on my own. I mean, I would love to be my own boss and everything, and I'm working towards that. But it's obviously takes time.
Yeah.
I don't like telling people that because then they're oh, that's really cool. But
yeah.
They just kind of blow you off. But when you talk to them and you're just hey, I get the freedom that I want. If I want to take a week off, I can take a week off, and no one would complain about it, or I'm not on a salary or anything like that. So I like that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like working nights though, or weekends.
Yeah, true. That is one, downside of it.
Yeah,
which I'm in the same thing. To make money, I, for the most part, have to The dog is taking a poop over there.
I know.
We just both looked over, and there's definitely a dog just taking a poop. Let me actually just see if I can capture that real quick. With this, yeah. You probably can't see it, but you probably can actually. Yeah. Yep. So that's important to get.
So have you ever had like a fight in your car? Have you ever had like a couple crying?
No.
Oh.
Have you been in the car when that's happening?
No, but I've been bartending when that happened.
Yeah, true.
I was at bartending once, and actually a guy broke up with his girlfriend there, and she drank an entire bottle of wine, and I had to walk her home.
Oh my God.
Because I couldn't be responsible for her.
Right.
I was nervous.
Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about that for a second, because that's always one thing that like killed me as a bartender. That like was so hard, was shutting people off. Like, because you don't want to like stop them from having a good time, but at the same time, like, you know what I mean?
I have a story then.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
To make great podcast. I don't even know. But there was one time where this guy, who is clearly a swinger, but that's like a different story. He asked me like if I had a boyfriend, and I said yes, and he was just like, "Oh, does he like having sex with men?" And I was like, I don't know. Okay. And I was like, no, he doesn't. And so then he was like with this couple that I know because they come into the bar frequently.
Yeah.
But like we knew they were swingers because they always like come in with like a different couple. And they were kind of vocal about it one night when they were super drunk. Anyways, he was drinking. He was drinking a martini. Clearly they had like multiple drinks before they came to wherever they were. Mm-hmm. And then they came to where our bar was. And they ordered a martini. And I got it for him, and then I realized that he was a lot drunker than I thought he was. And then he asked for another martini, and I was just like, ooh, I don't really feel comfortable, like, serving him. And so I asked my manager, he said, serve him one more, and then we'll just see what happens. And so we serve him one more, and then he starts talking to the girls next to him, and, like, just being really, really rude and just, like, inappropriate, and made them feel really uncomfortable so much that they came up to the manager and was like, they're making me feel really uncomfortable. So he asked for one more martini. We cut him off, and he was like, got his finger like right in my face, and he was like, do you know who I am? And I'm like, no, sir, I don't know who you are. And so then he was like,
nor do I give a fuck.
I know. He was just like, oh, I'm a police officer, blah, blah, blah. You should be giving me like whatever, all this stuff. And so then he got kicked out. And then he came back, and it was trash day in Charlestown. So I worked in Charlestown, and it was trash day. He grabbed trash and brought it back into the restaurant and dumped it all in the foyer in front, left. And, like, my manager was getting pissed. And, like, obviously my manager was kind of, like, a big dude and kind of confrontational. Like, that's just his personality. Mm-hmm. And so he left, and then he came back, and then he kept on and then he like got into it with my manager, and then he left and kept on calling the restaurant over and over again. We Googled him, and we found out that he was actually a cop that that was on probation because he tried to stab someone at a wedding. And
what?
He was going through anger management classes, and clearly they weren't working because he was, like, tapped. And I don't think he's come back since, but he, like, no longer can come to that restaurant. I think we have,
those are the craziest stories. When someone it gets so crazy that they can't come back to the bar.
I know.
Like, that's wild.
I know. There's a couple more, but
unfortunately we're here.
I know.
So you know what we'll have to do is keep in touch, and then plan a time where we can, do an actual little video.
Legit podcast.
Yeah. Thank you for
fun.
Do you prefer Uber or Lyft?
Truthfully, whichever's cheaper.
Okay, that's a good answer. I'm trying to compile a bunch of people's I
mean, I guess Lyft, because Lyft is, I don't know.
All right, so first thing is the expense, right? I mean, obviously, like how expensive it is.
Yeah.
And then what's second? If they're both the same, which one do you go for?
I normally go, I don't know, probably Lyft. Whichever one that I'm on, I guess. I'm pretty lazy.
You're like, I actually don't give a shit.
I know, I'm pretty lazy when it comes to that. I'm just like, okay, cool. That one's good.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks.
I wish you the best with everything.
I know.
And we'll definitely stay in touch. And you're subscribed. I'm going to subscribe to you.
Cool.
Definitely.
Thanks to everyone who had an amazing vibe yesterday in the Lyft rides. They were really awesome. I mean, every single ride yesterday was just spot on. I mean, my first ride of the night was actually picking up a couple, bringing them into Boston, right into the North End, and man, those guys, such a good conversation. Man, those two were awesome, and I appreciated them being so cool. They actually even gave me a $14 tip. Like, that is amazing. Thank you so much, everyone that has been awesome on this evening of the 4th of November, Saturday night. You guys are the reason that Saturday nights are totally worth driving and making awesome new friends. Thank you guys for watching the Boston Bond. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see in the future. I just really like to document the conversations that happen in a Lyft. You can really hear some great stories from people all over the world. By the way, Alexa, if you do watch this and you want your YouTube channel to be shouted out and put in the description, please let me know, because I ended up looking for you and couldn't find your YouTube channel. I want to make sure I pay homage. Keep on keeping on and focus forward.